Alright, students, let's go ahead and start our revision today. Today, we are going to do the chapter of charge of GST. Sir, can you give us a quick linking? Yes, Baba, let's take a quick linking. We started learning GST with goods or service. Goods or service has to be supplied. Whenever supply is done, supply can be either interstate supply or intrastate supply. Interstate supply, what will come, everyone? IGST shall be levied. Intrastate, what will happen, everyone? CGST shall be levied. Once GST is levied, GST has to be collected and paid by whom? By a taxable person. How will he collect and pay? He will calculate GST is equal to value of supply into rate of tax. Now, everyone over here, this is the place where we are going to learn today. CGST will be levied under section number 9. And sir, IGST ka levy section is section number 5. Let's go ahead and now revise section number 9 and section number 5. Sir, when we go ahead and read section number 9. Section number 9 has section number 9.1 which goes ahead and talks about, sir, when GST will be levied. Sir, whenever CGST will be levied on intrastate supply of what, everyone? Goods, services or both except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. It will be levied on the value which is determined under section number 15 and rate will be maximum 20%. This rate will be notified by the government on recommendation of council, collected and paid by whom? Only by a taxable person. Now, sir, if you read section number 5.2 over here, section number 5.2, 5.1 also goes ahead and section number 5.1, which is the IGST levy section, everything written is same. Only what will happen? Intra becomes inter and 20% becomes how much, everyone? 40%. The next one over here is section number 9.2. Section number 9.2 goes ahead and talks about what, everyone? That, sir, HP man pay. CGST will be levied from a date which will be notified by government on recommendation of council. Can you tell me what is HP man, everyone? H for high speed diesel, P for petroleum crude, M for motor spirit, A for aviation turbine fuel, and N for natural gas. GST will be levied from a date to be notified by government on recommendation of council. Now, section number 9.2, same section number 5.2 is also there of the IGST Act, which goes ahead and says IGST will be levied on HP man from a date notified by government on recommendation of council. Then we come to reverse charge mechanism, RCM. Section number 9.3 goes ahead and talks about RCM. Sir, what is RCM? Whenever a recipient has to go ahead, whenever government goes ahead and says it is difficult to take the GST from the supplier, government goes ahead and puts what? RCM. And whenever RCM comes, the recipient has to go ahead and pay the GST under RCM. And all the provisions will be applicable to the recipient. Can I go ahead, everyone? So, sir, 9.3 when we go ahead and talk, section number 9.3 may we have some goods also which are notified goods on which RCM is there, and services also which are notified on which RCM is there. But goods ka RCM is not applicable for your CA final syllabus, and but services ka RCM is applicable for your exam. Let's go ahead and now read the RCM with respect to services. Very, very important from exam point of view. Exam point of view, it is very important because one question they basically it will be a part of the big question or it can come as an individual question also. Everyone over here, the first service which we go ahead and cover over here is the GTA ka service. Always remember one thing, everyone. If GTA is going ahead and giving the services, GTA can give the services either to a registered person or GTA can give services to an unregistered person. Remember one thing, if GTA is giving services to a registered person can be a TDS deductor also, and registered person can be a other registered person also, right, everyone? And unregistered person, which is unregistered person under GST we are talking about, unregistered person can be, you have to remember, it can be FBSCOOP. Sir, what do you mean by FB scoop, everyone? I've gone ahead and told over here FB scoop. F means factory which is registered under Factories Act. B means body corporate which is registered or established under their law. Sir, society which is registered under the Societies Act. Sir, cooperative society which is established under the law. Or partnership firm can be registered or unregistered under the Partnership Act. Includes an AOP, and always remember LLP will also be a partnership firm. You know what, everyone? Body corporate, FB means body corporate, BABA means a corporate body which is an incorporated body, has a perpetual succession, has the capacity to sue or being sued, which is separate legal entity. That's a body corporate. Are we clear, everyone? For an example, Indian company, body corporate. Foreign company is also a body corporate. Indian company is a body corporate, foreign company is a body corporate, SEBI is a body corporate, sir, RBI is also a body corporate. Cooperative society is never a body corporate. Partnership firm is not a body corporate, right, everyone? But Sir, LLP, although being a body corporate, they have gone ahead and told LLP should not be considered. LLP normally is a body corporate, but LLP will not consider as body corporate for reverse charge notification. They have specifically told LLP should always be considered only in partnership firm, and hence LLP will never go ahead and consider it body corporate. Are we clear, everyone? Can I go ahead? Everyone over here. So if I'm going ahead and giving services to FB Scope, or I can go ahead and give to other unregistered person who is a casual taxable person, or I can go ahead and give it to other unregistered person also. Now, when I go ahead and talk about GTA ka services, always remember one thing: GTA services. GTA services, if it is given to TDS deductor A, B, C category, A means Department of Central Government, State Government, Local Authority, or Governmental Agency, and D category is the notified category. Remember one thing: here government went ahead and exempted. So if GTA is giving services to a registered person under GST who is registered as what, everyone? TDS deductor, then the GST has been exempted. Can I go ahead, everyone? But TDS deductor of notified category ka case mein RCM shall be applicable at the rate of 5%. Can we go ahead, everyone? अदर रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन का केस में सर नॉर्मल रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन, कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन, ओआईडीआर एक्सेट्रा का केस में सर अगेन आरसीएम एट द रेट ऑफ 5%. FB Scoop का केस में these people will have to take compulsory registration and pay the GST under RCM at the rate of 5%. सर अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन का केस में exempted. Sir, unregistered casual taxable person, handicraft wala supplier who are unregistered, exempted, and this case also exempted. Are we clear till here, everyone? Now, sir, government have also gone ahead and told if you are a GTA, normally a GTA ka case mein always the recipient pays the GST under RCM. But if GTA wants, GTA can go for the option of forward charge mechanism. In that scenario, the GTA can either go ahead and charge you 5% under forward charge or 12% under forward charge mechanism. Are we clear, everyone? So if there is a goods transport agency who has opted for forward charge mechanism, either they will go ahead and, so in the first case, when they are giving to TDS deductors, again it will be exempted, but notified category of TDS deductor ka case mein forward charge mechanism either 5% or 12% will come. Sir, if GTA takes the option of 5%, Baba, remember, if GTA is charging 5% GST under forward charge, it will not get any credit. If GTA is charging 12%, then also then GTA will get all the credit. Sir, okay, three types of GTA. One GTA wherein recipient pays the GST under RCM, then Baba GTA does not get credit. If GTA goes for forward charge mechanism, it will charge 5%, 5% then no ITC, 12% if it charges forward charge, then it will get all the credit. Remember, recipient ka case mein, supplier ka case mein I have told you about the credits. Recipient to Baba, when you pay under RCM also you can take the credit. When you pay under forward charge also you can take the credit. Are we clear? Sir, in this scenario also forward charge mechanism. In this scenario also forward charge mechanism. Here it will be exempted and here it will be exempted. Are we clear till here, everyone? Can we go ahead? Now, when I went ahead and told you about GTA, I went ahead and told one more thing over here. Wherever it is reverse charge or forward charge, remember one thing. There is one more exemption which has been given by the government. Reverse charge or forward charge will not come if it is random item. If it is random item, relief material, agricultural produce, newspaper and magazine, defense and military equipment, organic manure, milk, salt, food grain, rice, flour, and pulses. Are we all clear till here? Yes, sir. This is the overview about the GTA services. Please come back. Now, when I go ahead and talk about the GTA service, GTA, if it is unregistered, all these people or partnership firm can be registered, unregistered, LLP including AOP. Then, Baba, in that scenario, GST has to be paid under RCM by these people. If it is registered person, then also RCM will come. But registered person ka case mein RCM will not come. If it is Department of Central Government, State Government, Local Authority, or Governmental Agency who is registered as TDS deductor, it will be exempted. Then we have proviso over here. Proviso goes ahead and says if GTA wants, GTA can go ahead and take registration, opt for paying GST under forward charge mechanism, and also it has to issue a tax invoice charging GST at the rate of 5% or 12%, and also it has to give a declaration on the invoice which is issued that, sir, I'm going ahead and charging the GST under forward charge. Are we clear, everyone? The next one over here is advocate. Everyone over here, advocate ka services or firm of advocate or senior advocate ka service. Always remember, advocate, firm of advocate or senior advocate, advocate, firm of advocate or senior advocate. Whenever they go ahead and give services, first of all, they should be given to a business entity which is under taxable territory. Secondly, which business entity has to pay GST under RCM? Whose last year ka turnover, last year preceding financial year ka turnover is more than registration limit. Are we clear, everyone? Remember this point. The next one over here is, Baba, all other scenarios mein, All other scenarios, if advocate, firm of advocate or senior advocate, all other scenarios, individual को given services, all those scenarios may it will be exempted. Can I go ahead, everyone? Remember, if it is given to a business entity, which business entity which last year turnover is more than registration limit, only then GST will come under RCM. The next one over here is arbitral tribunal ka services. Arbitral tribunal, Baba, one is a tribunal which is established under law. Their services are neither supply of goods nor supply of service. But arbitral tribunal is kind of a private tribunal. An arbitral tribunal giving services to a business entity whose aggregate turnover in previous year is more than registration limit, only then GST will come under RCM. The next one is sponsorship services, means giving sponsorship service to anyone. So, for an example, I'm an event organizer. I went ahead and told, give me this much amount, your brand, I will associate along with the event. Then I'm going ahead and giving what sponsorship services. I'm giving sponsorship service. You are giving me the sponsorship amount. I am the supplier of service. You being the recipient, you have to pay the GST under RCM if you are a body corporate or a partnership firm. Remember, partnership firm includes LLP, which is in the taxable territory. The next one over here is government. Central government, state government, union territory, or local authority. If they are going ahead and giving services other than PAIT, sir, P means post ka services. Leave post ka service, on post ka service, post ka service. What happens, everyone, in case of postal services? If it is postcard, inland card, book post, or envelopes weighing less than 10 gram, then it is exempt. Other than postal department ka service, always forward charge is there. A for airport or port related service, forward charge is there. I for immovable property. Baba, government giving renting of immovable property, registered business entity pays GST under RCM, unregistered business entity, government charges under forward charge. Can I go ahead, everyone? T for transportation of goods or passenger ka service pe also GST comes under forward charge. Can I go ahead, everyone? Excluding all these services, if any services are given to a business entity, which business entity, everyone, whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year is more than registration limit, then that business entity, Baba, government giving services other than PAIT, post, airport, port related service, immovable property and transportation. Immovable property you have to see over here, I have told. Other than these four services, government giving services to a business entity whose last year turnover is more than registration limit, plus, the amount charged is more than 5,000, that business entity pays the GST under RCM. The next one over here is any person going ahead and renting residential dwelling for the purpose of residence, basically not for the purpose of residence. They have gone ahead and told, are you any person doing what, renting of residential dwelling to a registered person, whether for commercial purpose or residential purpose, residential dwelling to a registered person will pay the GST under RCM. The next one is any person giving transfer of development right for or floor space index, promoter pays the GST under RCM. Any person going ahead and giving long-term lease of land of 30 years or more, promoters pays the GST under RCM. So if any person is giving development right or floor space index, or he is going ahead and giving what, everyone, long-term lease which is 30 years or more, always the promoter, the real estate developer, pays the GST under RCM. The next one is directors over here. Directors giving services to company or a body corporate. Always remember one thing, in the taxable territory, if it is there, what will happen over here? Reverse charge mechanism, company or body corporate pays the GST. Sir, there is a circular over here. Circular went ahead and told, always remember, independent directors are never the employees, and always the GST will be payable by whom, everyone? Company under RCM. However, if whole-time director is giving services to the company, you have to go ahead and see, is the whole-time director an employee or not an employee? If he is an employee and given salary and TDS under 192 of the Income Tax Act is done, then it is not a salary, then it is not a supply and no GST. And third, if it is not if his director is not an employee, whole-time director, but not in the capacity of employee, other than in the capacity of employee, if he gives services and professional fees is paid, when 194 GMA TDS is deducted, then it's a supply and the company will be liable to pay GST under RCM. Always remember one thing, insurance agent giving services to the insurance company always pays the GST under RCM. Recovery agent giving services to bank, financial institution and NBFC. Bank, financial institution or NBFC pays the GST under RCM. Remember one thing, everyone, recovery agent gave services to car dealer. There is no RCM. It will come under forward charge. The next one over here is music composer, photographer, artist or like. What does the music composer, photographer, artist or like do? They go ahead and give transfer or permit the use or enjoyment of copyright relating to original dramatic, musical, artistic or literary work. So always remember one thing, if photographer, artist or like goes ahead and gives services to whom? Producer or music company or like, then Baba, in that scenario, all these people will have to go ahead and pay the GST under RCM. Who will pay the GST, everyone? Music company, producer, or like will go ahead and pay the GST under RCM. Baba, remember one thing, they are not selling their IP, the copyright. They are going in and allowing to use. Selling is a supply of goods. Here they are allowing to use, and for that they might be taking any consideration. But that person who is the recipient, music company, etc., will pay the GST under RCM. The next one over here is author. Author का case में remember, if the author is unregistered and he has not opted, Baba, author has an option to go for forward charge. But if author does not go for forward charge, always remember, publishers will pay the GST under RCM. Can I go ahead, everyone? So, sir, if the author wants, author is also going ahead and giving what? Original literary work. It says copyright, which is going ahead and giving someone to use. So, Baba, author ka case mein also, if author wants, author can go ahead and take registration. Forward charge mechanism will be applicable when? If author takes registration, filed a declaration that he exercises to pay the GST under forward charge, and he will comply with all the provision as they apply to the person who was liable to pay the tax, and that he will not withdraw the option for 1 year. And also, when he gives the invoice to the publisher, he should go ahead and give a declaration in the prescribed form on the invoice when he is issuing the invoice to the publisher. Always remember, everyone, authors have been given. Authors have, number one, if author is unregistered and he does not offer forward charge, always publisher will pay the GST under RCM. Publisher who is in the taxable territory. Can I go ahead, everyone? But if author wants, author can go ahead and take registration. He can go ahead and file a declaration with his jurisdictional officer saying, sir, I will go ahead and charge the GST under forward charge and I will not withdraw this option for 1 year. In that scenario, he will go ahead and comply with all the provision, and also when he gives the invoice to the publisher, he will go ahead and give a declaration that, sir, I will go ahead and pay the GST under forward charge, you don't pay. Can I go ahead, everyone? The next one, members of overseeing committee giving services to the RBI. Always remember, RBI will go ahead and pay the GST under RCM. Sir, direct selling agent who is an individual. Remember, direct selling agent who is an individual giving services to bank or NBFC. Always what will happen? Bank or NBFC will pay the GST under RCM. Business facilitator giving services to the bank. Remember one thing, everyone. One is a business correspondent and one is a business facilitator. Remember, they will also have an agent. And this is a bank, for an example. This is a bank. Always remember, when business correspondent ka agent gives him services, RCM is there. When business facilitator gives to the bank, RCM is there. Okay, everyone. Now, sir, what about this scenario and this scenario? In that scenario, whenever RCM is not there, forward charge mechanism will come. Remember one thing, business correspondent is always the bakra. Bakra means, sir, whenever he takes the services, he will have to pay under RCM. When he gives the services to bank, he will have to collect and pay. So, Baba, both sides say he has to pay. When he takes the services of agent, he has to pay. When he gives services to bank, he has to collect and pay. So he's the bakra. Can I go ahead, everyone? But business facilitator is always free. No tension. Why no tension, everyone? Because when they take the services from agent, agent will collect and pay. When they give services to the bank, bank will pay under RCM. Are we clear, everyone? Chalo. The next one over here, agent of a business correspondent. Sir, but what if, sir, all these services which are provided by the business correspondent, business facilitator or their agent are with respect to rural area branch, accounts in rural area, then Baba, if it is with respect to rural area, all will go under exemption. Remember one thing, over here they have gone ahead and told exemption if business facilitator or business correspondent and their intermediary with respect to accounts in rural area, then all the services will be exempted. The next one is security service. Baba, remember one thing, security service means providing security guard, security personnel services by any person other than a body corporate. If it is given to whom? Registered person in the taxable territory, then registered person will pay the GST under RCM. Sir, not applicable if the registered person. So if I go ahead and tell over here, security services given by any person other than body corporate, if it is given to registered person and registered person is TDS deductor, Baba, security services given to whom, everyone? Registered person. If registered person is a TDS deductor, if registered person is a composition person or others, you will have to go ahead and see. TDS deductor also may A category, B category, C category, and the last one is notified category. Remember one thing, where will reverse charge mechanism be applicable, everyone? If it is given in this scenario, what will happen? First, they told all may RCM. Correct, everyone? Then they went in and told RCM is not applicable. In which scenario? If it is TDS deductor, RCM is not there. Composition dealer, RCM is not there. RCM is not there means forward charge mechanism will come in this scenario. Can I go ahead, everyone? There is no exemption. The next one over here is renting a motor vehicle designed to carry passenger. See over here, not applicable when registered person is a TDS deductor or composition dealer. The next one over here is renting a motor vehicle which is designed to carry what passengers, where fuel cost is included in the consideration charged. Then, Baba, if any person other than body corporate, if he is giving the services, number one, you have to remember it should be a renting a motor vehicle, passenger vehicle, fuel cost is included. Secondly, sir, who is the service provider? Any person other than body corporate. Thirdly, he should not be charging 12%, means he should be either charging 5% or might be not registered, he is issuing bill of supply. In that scenario, body corporate will always pay the GST under RCM. Can I go ahead, everyone? Recipient should be a body corporate. Here, one circular is there over here. Sir, supposingly, GST on renting a motor vehicle designed to carry passenger. One body corporate is there. Body corporate went ahead and took one motor vehicle where the person who has given the motor vehicle, it's a passenger vehicle, and the person who has taken the motor vehicle is a body corporate. Any person other than body corporate, when the body corporate hires the motor vehicle for a period during which the motor vehicle is at its disposal, it is telling I will send the employee from here to here. However, I want, I can use the motor vehicle. Then body corporate is liable to pay GST under RCM. But supposingly, body corporate went ahead and one employee had to be sent from one location to another location, and the employee was sent in a bus. Baba, buses which are going from one place to another. But in that scenario, they have not gone ahead and taken renting a services. It's a passenger transportation services taken by them. And in that scenario, they don't have to pay GST under RCM. When body corporate avails passenger transportation service for specific journey and does not take it on rent, motor vehicle is not taken on rent. One bus was going from here to there. I've sent my employee from here to there. In that scenario, I have not taken the motor vehicle on rent. It is just passenger transportation service given by them. In that scenario, there is no reverse charge mechanism. Reverse charge mechanism is when you have rented a motor vehicle, which is passenger vehicle, where fuel cost is included. Secondly, they have not charged you 12%. Thirdly, they are any person but not a body corporate. And fourthly, you are a body corporate. Are we clear? Can I go ahead, everyone? Yes, did I tell the same thing? Chalo, the next one over here is the last one, services of lending of securities to the borrower. Services of lending the securities to the borrower. Remember one thing, lender through an intermediate lends the securities. Borrower is always liable to pay the GST under RCM. There is a circular over here regarding the taxability of securities lending. See over here, everyone, taxability of supply of securities under securities lending scheme. Sir, transaction of securities where the disposal of securities, it is not a supply, no GST. Because securities are neither goods nor service. However, lending of securities where supply of service, lending of securities is always the supply of service. Whenever lending of securities is done through an intermediary, SEBI ka appointed intermediary through, if lending of securities is done, always remember one thing, it's a supply of service, taxable, and borrower will be liable to pay GST under RCM. Remember, the nature of supply is always interstate and IGST shall be payable. Are we all clear till here, everyone? Can you go ahead and tell me what are the various services on which reverse charge mechanism is applicable? I went ahead and told you DIA, GRA, MS, diagrams. You have to remember diagrams, everyone. The first service which is there is the GTA ka service. Correct, everyone? G for GTA. The second one is advocate ka services or arbitral tribunal ka services. The third one which is over here. Sir, arbitral tribunal done. S for sponsorship service. Do you guys agree with me? The next one over here is government ka services. G for government ka services. Government giving services to a business entity. Correct, everyone? Yes or no? And Baba, also government doing renting of immovable property. The next one we went ahead and learned if there is a person who is doing renting of residential property. Correct, everyone? To a registered person. The next one, everyone. The next one, quickly, director ka services. Correct, everyone? D for directors. And Baba, D for development rights also, no? Development right, transfer of development right, floor space index, or long-term lease if you are giving land. What is the next one over here? Director ke baad, I for insurance agent. Sir, the next one over here is R for recovery agent. Then M for music composer, artist, or photographer. The next one over here is author. The next one, everyone, direct selling agent. D for direct selling agent who is an individual. Then I went ahead and told you A for agent of business facilitator or agent of business correspondent, or if he is a business, not agent of business facilitator, only business facilitator. Then the next one, everyone, which is it? Members of overseeing committee. M for members of overseeing committee of the RBI. The next one, everyone, security services. Here you can say security services. Here it will come renting of motor vehicle, and here is securities lending. I have gone ahead and covered all the reverse charge ka entries over here. Remember the mnemonic diagrams, and you can go ahead and write this down and stick it beside your bed so that you remember all the reverse charge ka entries. Are we all clear till here? Now, let's move to the next section, everyone. The next section is which one, everyone? Section number 9.4. Section number 9.4 goes ahead and says about whenever one unregistered person will give specified category of goods or services to whom, everyone? Specified class of registered person. Specified class of registered person will pay the GST under RCM. And here we have input and input services if they are given to a promoter, and if there is any shortfall below 80%. If there is any shortfall below 80%, for an example, one promoter is making a project where the cost is 10 lakh rupees. Out of this, input and input services, 8 lakh should be brought from registered person. Supposingly, the promoter bought only 7 lakh worth of input and input services from registered person. Then whatever is the differential, 1 lakh is the differential that promoter has to pay GST under RCM at the rate of 18%. The next one over here is cement. Cement ka case mein also, whenever you buy from unregistered person, promoter will have, whoever is the promoter, if he buys from an unregistered person, he will have to pay GST under RCM. Capital goods may also, if the promoter buys any capital goods, he'll have to pay GST under RCM. If he buys from unregistered person, registered person, then no problem. The next one over here is section number 9.5. Section number 9.5 goes ahead and says those category of services, intrastate supply, the tax shall be payable always by the e-commerce operator, and all the provision of the law will apply to the e-commerce operator as if he is the supplier liable for paying the tax. Now here we have, what are the various services, everyone? THAR services. Number one is transportation of passenger ka services. Transportation of passenger ka services, baba, Ola, Uber, etc. services. Ola, Uber ke through when services are given. So sir, supposedly there is one person, he went to Ola, Ola directed it to a person, supplier, he came and gave the service. In this scenario, who will be liable, everyone? E-commerce operator will be liable. Remember one thing, even if the supplier is registered, unregistered, doesn't matter. Even if he's liable to register, even if he's not liable to register, always the e-commerce operator will be liable. The first one is transportation of passenger. Remember, transportation of passenger not by air. Transportation of passenger only by what? Radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab, motorcycle, might be an omnibus or any other motor vehicle, might be it's an auto rickshaw, metered cab, e-rickshaw. Remember, always the e-commerce operator will be liable. Can I go ahead? Generally, e-rickshaw, auto rickshaw ka services mein there is no GST. But if the same is provided to an e-commerce will collect the GST and pay it to the government. Can I go ahead, everyone? The next one over here is accommodation services. Remember one thing, for an example, one person went to Oyo and he booked a hotel, right, everyone? He went and stayed. So basically, hotel had gone ahead and given him service. Over here, you should remember, if the supplier is liable to register under section number 21, then supplier will be liable, e-commerce will not be liable. But if supplier is not liable to register under section number 21, then e-commerce operator will be liable. And whenever the e-commerce operator is liable, only then he will go ahead and collect the GST and pay. Now, when he has to collect the GST and pay, he will have to take compulsory registration. Are we clear, everyone? So if e-commerce does not have to collect and pay, he will not take registration. But when e-commerce has to collect and pay, then e-commerce operator takes compulsory registration. Everyone over here now. The next one over here is T for transportation, H for accommodation service done. Accommodation service given in hotel, in for residential or lodging purpose also. In that scenario, accommodation service also will pay the GST. If supplier is liable to register under 21, supplier will be paying. If supplier is not liable to register under 21, then Baba e-commerce will be liable to pay. How will the e-commerce pay? He'll take compulsory registration, collect and pay. Compulsory registration under section number 24 of the registration chapter we have learned. Section number 24 of CGST Act. Housekeeping service, always remember, denting, painting of the house. If you take housekeeping services, supposingly you went to Urban Clap and you took housekeeping services. Supposingly this was Venki over here. Venki went in and took a shower. At the time shower stopped and you went to Urban Clap and Urban Clap directed it to a supplier. Supplier will come and give you the service. In this scenario, if the supplier is liable to register under section number 21, then supplier will collect and pay. But if supplier is not liable, then e-commerce operator will collect and pay the GST under section number 95. And whenever e-commerce operator has to pay, they have to take compulsory registration. So third one was plumbing, carpenting, etc. service. Remember one thing. They are telling housekeeping services. So supposedly one beautician provided the service through e-commerce operator, that is not housekeeping. Beautician means denting, painting, they will do a person, not house. Are we clear? And beautician ka services don't come under section number 95. The next one over here is note in housekeeping and accommodation service, e-commerce is not liable if supplier is liable for registration under section number 22(1). The next one is restaurant services. Remember one thing, if restaurant services are provided through Swiggy, Zomato, etc., whether the supplier is registered, unregistered, doesn't matter. Always e-commerce operator only will collect the GST and pay it to the government, right everyone? However, if this restaurant is located in specified premises, what is the specified premise everyone? Where the room rent is more than how much everyone? 7,500. See, if it is if the room rent is how much? 7,500 per unit. Baba, not equal to it is more than what everyone? 7,500 any room rent, then this becomes a specified premises. And in this scenario, when the food is being provided through a specified premise, who will be liable? The restaurant only will be liable. E-commerce operator will not be liable. They have told over here restaurant services except when services by restaurant in specified premises. Specified premises means premises having hotel accommodation services having declared tariff how much everyone? More than 7,500 per unit per day. Remember, it is not equal to, it is 7,500 per day per unit, or equivalent means rupee equivalent. Might be 7,500 is equal to 75 pounds. They are talking about that. Can we go ahead, everyone? So they are telling it should be more than 7,500. It should not be less than or equal to. If it is more than 7,500, then that becomes a specified premise. And specified premises through if food is supplied, then restaurant will be liable, e-commerce will not be liable. Here one circular is there over here. If you see one circular is there, sir, where is the circular over here? Circular I have gone ahead and given over here. Services is supplied by restaurant through e-commerce operator. Remember one thing, sir, first question which was asked was, sir, whenever services are supplied by an restaurant through e-commerce, so supposing there is a restaurant which is supplying the service through e-commerce, Baba, remember in section number 95 ka supply, there is no TCS which is applicable. Section number 95 ka supplies are transportation, housekeeping, accommodation and restaurant service. On all these four services, TCS is not applicable. Can I go ahead, everyone? Sir, supposingly any other services other than this or any other goods other than this, then Baba TCS provisions are applicable. Government went ahead and clarified, since ECO is liable to pay the GST, whenever ECO is liable, anyways TCS provision is not applicable. It is not required to collect TCS, but on other goods and services not notified, if those goods and services are supplied through e-commerce, then in that scenario, e-commerce will collect TCS. Sir, e-commerce operator is telling, sir, I have to pay my own GST also because I am charging what? Commission. I am charging commission. So commission pay I have to pay GST. I have taken registration. Now 95 wala tax also I have to go ahead and pay. Then should I take one more registration? Government told no. Under that registration only you can pay your commission pay GST also. You can pay on 95 wala GST. Also, you are not required to take separate registration to pay the GST on restaurant services under section number 95. Sir, the next one over here, people ask, sir, if this supply is registered or unregistered, in both the scenario, am I liable to pay? Government told whether the supply is registered or unregistered, e-commerce operator only will be liable for the restaurant service because we are talking about restaurant. Can I go ahead, everyone? E-commerce will be liable to pay GST on supplies made by unregistered restaurant through it. Even if restaurant is registered, also e-commerce will only pay. Unregistered, then also e-commerce operator only will pay. Now, supposingly I am a restaurant, I am selling food. I am a restaurant, I am going in and selling food to my customer. To my customers, if I am selling food, I have sold 10 lakh of food, and I am selling through the e-commerce also, and I have sold goods worth rupees 5 lakh, not goods. Restaurant services worth 5 lakh. So, sir, what is my aggregate turnover? 10 lakh or 10 plus 5, 15? Government is selling whether you are selling directly to your customer or you are selling through e-commerce. That is always your aggregate turnover. Whose? Supplier. So it says aggregate turnover of restaurant shall include value of supplies made through e-commerce operator also. Everyone listen to me very carefully. Whenever one restaurant goes ahead and takes registration, no, restaurant services pay 5% GST is there under composition also and normally also. And you know what? When restaurant charges 5% GST, there is no input tax credit. Are we clear, everyone? There is no input tax rate. Now he was the supplier over here. Now supplier ka head say we have gone ahead and removed all the work and we have put it on whose head, everyone? E-commerce operator is deemed as the supplier and he is going to do all the compliances. Now people went ahead and told, sir, when e-commerce operator is the supplier of the e-commerce, when all the provision of the law will be applicable to the e-commerce operator, you are assuming him to be the supplier. So sir, when he is going ahead and paying GST on the commission services, that ke liye to he can take the input tax credit. But sir, when he is supplying the restaurant service, with respect to that, he should not take GST because restaurants are not allowed to take input tax credit. Government went ahead and told, hey, listen, e-commerce operator is not actually the supplier. Are you guys able to understand? So people told some credit he should go ahead and reverse. With respect to what? With respect to section number 95, should he reverse the credit? Government told, hey, listen, nothing. All the credits will be allowed. This supply which was done, this supply pay, anyways, he's just collecting the GST and paying. He does not become the restaurant itself. Restaurants are not allowed to take the input tax credit. Did you guys get it, everyone? It says e-commerce shall not be required to reverse ITC on account of restaurant service on which it pays GST. Are we clear, everyone? Also, e-commerce shall pay GST. Now, tell me one thing. For paying this GST on your commission services, you can use this credit. For paying this, you don't have any credits. Don't go ahead and use this credit for paying this amount. It should be always paid in cash. Everyone over here. The next one. Supposingly one person went ahead, one person is there, he went and placed an order on e-commerce. Supposingly he placed an order for goods also and services also. E-commerce operator sent the order to a restaurant. Restaurant is selling restaurant ka services, food also, and he is selling goods and services also. Are we clear, everyone? Same order. One order may one person ordered for his girlfriend supposingly cake also and gifts also. Now in this scenario, when the restaurant services food is being sent, then Baba, this person will go ahead and pay the GST to e-commerce and e-commerce should pay. So for this, e-commerce operator will raise the invoice, he will collect the GST and pay it to the government. With regards to the goods and service, the person who is the supplier, he will only raise the invoice, you will make the payment, e-commerce will deduct TCS and then make the remaining payment to you. Are we clear? For the restaurant service, e-commerce will not go ahead and deduct any TCS, but for other goods and service, e-commerce will deduct the TCS and pay the remaining amount to you. It is what is being told over here. If restaurant services and other services are sold by a restaurant, other goods or services are sold to customer under the same order, advisable e-commerce operator raises separate bill for restaurant services on other goods and service supplier to raise the invoice and e-commerce only will go ahead and deduct TCS. Are we clear, everyone? For whatever restaurant services are there, e-commerce will go ahead and raise the invoice, e-commerce will collect the GST and pay. But sir, for restaurant services, e-commerce will raise the invoice, collect the GST and pay to the government. But for other goods and service, the supplier only will raise the invoice, e-commerce will just collect the amount, deduct TCS and pay it to the supplier. Are we all clear till here, everyone? Yes, sir. We are all clear. Remember one thing, everyone. If e-commerce operator under section number 95, that guy is in India, then e-commerce will be liable to pay the GST. E-commerce is not in there in India. He will have a representative who will pay in the taxable territory. That person will be liable. He does not have a representative also. Government says, beta, if no representative, appoint person in the taxable territory for the purpose of paying tax and he shall be liable. Everyone over here, I went in and told you about section number 91, 92, 93, 94 and 95. Remember one thing, there is a small amendment over here where they have gone in and told RCM provision shall apply to parliament, state legislature, court and tribunal as they apply to central government and state government. The way it is applicable for central government and state government might be central government, state government are giving services to business entity pays under RCM. Same way, if parliament, state legislature, court or tribunal gives the services, on that also RCM will be applicable. Body corporate ka meaning has been told. I have told you any corporate basically which is established under any person established under law. What is a body corporate? Person who is established under law, has a separate legal entity, perpetual succession, can be sued, can sue or be sued. That's a body corporate. Now they are going in and telling, Baba, body corporate means what? Company. And they are telling foreign company is also included in body corporate. LLP is also a body corporate. But LLP should not be included in body corporate for the RCM ka notification. LLP will go where? Partnership firm. LLP will always be considered as partnership firm. Are we clear, everyone? Remember one thing, cooperative society will not be included in body corporate. And if any other body corporate, not being a company which the government may by notification specify, if government specifies something, then that will also not be a body corporate. Can we go ahead, everyone? Everyone over here now, if you go down, PIT I have written post airport or aircraft or vessel, immovable property, and passenger related PAIT, transportation services. This mnemonic is to be used over here. Now the next one over here is, sir, section number 5. Section number 5, 9.1 and 5.1 are same. 9.1 may it talks about intrastate. Here it talks about interstate. 20% in 9.1 becomes 40% because IGST Act will be 20 plus 20. CGST plus SGST will be IGST Act. Section number 5.1 has one proviso that whatever IGST is on import of goods, it shall be levied and collected as per the Custom Tariff Act. It will be on the value which is determined under Custom Act. Custom Act may will read section number 14 that determines the value for custom duty. On Baba, what is told in Customs Act, on that value only will what will come, everyone? IGST will also come. And at the point when custom duties are levied, what will be levied? IGST will be levied, because importation of goods is interstate and IGST comes, that IGST will be levied, collected under the customs. Section number 5.2. Section number 9.2 told about HP man pe CGST. 5.2 talks about IGST on interstate supply of HP man. Section number 5.3 may there are additional services which are notified. Number 1, any service provided by any person in the non-taxable territory. If it is given to a person in the taxable territory, I told you supplies outside India, recipient is in India. Place of supply is in India, that's importation. So whenever the person is outside India and recipient is in India, you have to pay the GST in RCM, under RCM. Do you remember supply chapter, everyone? So you have to go ahead and pay GST under RCM, but this RCM is not applicable in case of NTR. Means what, everyone? OIDR supplier giving services to an NTR, forward charge mechanism is applicable. OIDR takes registration in India compulsorily, collects the GST and pays to the government. Can I go ahead? The next one over here is transportation of goods. Number 1, it should be transportation of goods by vessel. Vessel. Remember, not air, vessel. Next, from outside India into the custom station in India. Thirdly, it should be done by a person in the non-taxable territory, basically a foreign shipping company. And number 4, you, the importer, will have to pay the GST under RCM. Remember, transportation of goods by vessel from outside India into India by a person who is in the non-taxable territory, and you are the person in the taxable territory who is basically the importer. You have to pay the GST under RCM. 5.4 and 5.5 is same, just intra becomes inter. Everyone over here, listen to me very carefully. We went ahead and learned section number 9.1. We learned section number 9 में section number 9.1 normal levy, 9.2 HP man, 9.3 I told you diagrams pay RCM, section number 9.4 promoter related RCM, input service, cement and capital goods I told you, 9.5 I told THAR services pay. What will happen? E-commerce operator will be liable. Then I told you section number 5.1. 5.1 is same as 9.1 only. Only one proviso is there. Importation of goods pay GST will come. IGST will be levied, collected under Customs Act. Sir, secondly, HP man. Third one, diagrams are included here also. RCM will come on diagrams, but they have included additionally 2 services. 9.4 and 5.4 is exactly same. Right, everyone? Just intra becomes inter. 5.4, 9.5 and 5.5 are also same. Thar ka interstate supply pay, IGST will be payable. That is being told over here. Clear, everyone? In your exam, please be very careful. If they are asking a question from intrastate supply point of view, you have to use section number 9. Interstate point of view, you have to use section number 5. Sir, is this chapter important? Yes, Baba, this chapter is very important. A graded chapter with section number 9.3 being the most important part, section number 9.5 being the most important part. Same way, section number 5.3 also is important. Are we clear, everyone? Done. I'll go ahead and close my revision on this chapter of charge of GST. Congratulations, people.